G'day, I'm DK.
And I'm Ardeet.
Thanks for joining us for this week's Two Ticks Town Talk, a segment from the Australia Talks podcast.
Yeah, this is one of our favourite parts of bringing the podcast to you, our listeners.
So please enjoy this segment from the regular podcast.
I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Across the desert, fair man. I've breathed the mountain air, man. I've traveled, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere.
All right, this week's Two Ticks Town Talk, we're going to head south, all the way down to the great state of Tasmania. We're actually going right to the bottom of Tasmania. Not too far from Hobart, on the Tasman Peninsula, we find the quiet seaside town of Salem Bay. Now, me just saying that, some listeners may have guessed the focus of this week's Two Ticks Town Talk, but if not, let's kick it off as always with a little bit of history of the area before we move into the highlight of this week's Two Ticks Town Talk. Now, you will have to forgive me a little bit because there isn't a huge amount of history for the small seaside town of Salem Bay. It is fairly recent. And as a result, we'll kind of focus a bit more on the broader area. Which will become apparent.
The witches.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it will become apparent why shortly. So, pre-European arrival, which was in sort of the early 1800s, the area was home to the Pi Durham Aboriginal people. And by the late 1820s, the first of the European settlers moved to the area with a 300-acre farm claimed by Joseph Gillibrand at Sloping, Maine, which is a town about 20 k's from the current town of Salem Bay. And that was the first European settlement, basically, established. And of course, when that happens, there was friction between the local peoples and the European settlers in the broader region as well. Of course.
Of course.
Unfortunately, I couldn't find too much history without diving into a more of a broader Tasmanian sort of history. But the Pi Durham people on the Tasman Peninsula, basically there was no recorded evidence of them left from about 1830 onwards. So You can use your imagination as to what happened. By 1830, the Port Arthur penal settlement began, leading to the eventual eviction of all of the settlers from the Tasman Peninsula. And I do think the remaining Aboriginal people of the area were probably moved on at this time as well. Despite the instruction for all the settlers to leave, Joseph Gillibrand, who owned that farm, he was still occupying his land and he had cattle loose across the peninsula. And he was like, nah, I'm not going. Not until you compensate me and provide me with an alternative location to live. I couldn't find if he was successful in that bid, but he was evicted and the military took over his land and his home, and they continued to expand the buildings that he had built. And by 1840, a coal mine was established just north of the current town of Salem Bay, and some of the coal mine and mining equipment and things like that are still there today. This was all run by convicts and convict labour as part of the Port Arthur penal colony. And the big other industry in the area was timber harvesting. By 1877, the Port Arthur penal prison/colony was permanently closed and resettlement of the peninsula began. And again, timber, and at this point, significant clearing had occurred on the peninsula. So agriculture was a bit more of land was a bit more available for agriculture. So timber and agriculture were the big key industries, along with a couple of small fishing villages sort of popping up around. Of course, wherever there's easy access to the sea, you'll get fishing. But what we want to focus on for this week's Two Ticks Town Talk is an event that happened quite recently. In 2020, a little fella named Neil was born in Salem Bay, and it would bring the gaze of an international audience onto the small town and the wider region in general. That's because Neil is currently a 1,000 kilo or 2,204 pound southern elephant seal. He was, as I said, he was born in Salem Bay in 2020, where Natural Resources and Environment Tasmanian Commission says he was tagged on each tail flipper prior to weaning, and he is currently Tasmania's only known resident elephant seal. If you
That's
can imagine,
a lot of weight to put on in those few years. What you said that was? Did you say like 1,000 plus or something?
Yeah, that is his current weight.
Wow.
So he's been growing over the last few years, but he's still very, very young, and he is a big chonky boy. And because he's Tasmania's only known resident elephant seal, he has been causing a bit of mischief. Natural Resources and Environment Tasmania said that Neil gained fame, I'm going to call it infamy, in July 2022 after resting in Hobart for his month-long molting period. While most people kept their safe distance, incidents of humans disturbing him led to traffic cones being placed around him. He then decided that the traffic cones were absolutely fantastic and started playing with them, which attracted a lot more attention to pretty much like fairly unusual behavior. Honestly, like a lot of these.
How
seals,
could you resist that? What,
yeah,
1,000 kilograms of seal playing with a traffic cone.
Yep, it is pretty funny. He gained a lot of international attention again in November 2023, where he laid in front of a woman's driveway. Her car was parked in the driveway in front of her garage, and he laid between the car and the garage in front of her front steps, and kind of rubbed himself all over her car, damaging it significantly. And every time she would try and get out of the house, he would scream at her. And so she was too scared to leave, justifiably so, quite frankly. And the police came and told her just to stay inside the house, pretty much. So he trapped her inside her house for quite a number of hours. She was very, very late for work. And imagine calling your boss up. I can't come to work today because there's a giant elephant seal that has smashed up my car and won't let me leave. He then proceeded to continue on his rampage by smashing up a couple of front fences on neighboring properties and has severely damaged quite a number of cars. It seems to be one of his favorite things, just to rub up against them. Of course, when you're that heavy, the cars they're not built for that. So he just straight up destroys them. And he thinks that's quite funny and interesting. So what is interesting is Tasmanian Resources and Environment has said that Neil regularly hauls out, so getting out of the water, in human populated areas, and he seems to enjoy interacting with people. They said that the elephant seals can be dangerous if approached, and they may become habited to people, which can compromise their long-term survival. So they don't want people interacting with him if they can avoid it. Elephant seals do appear cumbersome and indifferent to humans, yet despite their awkwardness, the speed at which they can move and the bulk of their bodies makes them potentially dangerous if harassed. So don't get too close because, yes, he may be lumbering along and everything like that, but if he catches you, he will kill you.
Yeah, that's the downside.
Yeah, and he can be surprisingly quick, especially with sort of whipping his tail around. So you definitely need to keep your distance. Neil has become very popular on social media for his appearances on land, and all around the world, there have been news articles written about them. I've seen them in various different languages, from America to the UK, obviously Australia, New Zealand. The full Anglosphere has a number. Even the New York Times, Time magazine, he is very, very famous. Of course, his appearances on land have included chewing traffic cones, putting traffic cones on his head, lying in front of cars, jumping in front of cars. One of his most recent videos was him climbing over. The council closed off one of the beaches and erected a timber fence to stop him coming through. He didn't care. He jumped up on the fence and smashed it to the ground and then just started walking away or whatever they do, hobble away. He has his own YouTube channel that documents all of the sightings because, of course, everyone's got a phone, so they start videoing him immediately. And everybody calls him Neil. He seems to know his name and sort of responds to it as well. Yes.
Oh, that's funny.
Yes, this is all listed in the show notes, including his YouTube channel. You can go and see it. There are a bunch of articles, of course, that you can also see him causing his mischief. Of course, we need to mention that members of the public interacting with wildlife like this is actually an offense. You need to stay at least 20 meters away from the animal, and it is important that the seal does not become, accustomed to human and continues to maintain its wild behaviors for his long-term health and survival. So please give Neil the seal a wide berth and don't attempt to feed him. If anyone does have concerns about any seal or him in particular, they can call the Marine Mammal Hotline on 0427 Wales or 0427 942 537. So, why is he doing this around Salem Bay and the broader Tasman Peninsula, I hear you say? Great question. He was born there, so we think he's just kind of coming home. We don't really know exactly why he's drawn to this area continuously. There isn't an elephant seal colony around. There's no resident elephant seal colony, so he's alone. If Neil were,
so literally, there's not. That's quite literally when you're saying, it's not as if there's sort of an island of them just off the coast or anything. There is a bit of a rarity.
Yeah. They do come around. They are around, but
not
it's
resident.
No, and it's pretty unusual for you to see one on the beach, let alone in the middle of town. Neil just seems to be quite happy causing mischief in human occupied areas.
I love that.
And he specifically seems to target towns. He is attracted to coming into town rather than just laying on the beach and sort of hanging out. Because he's alone, we think he's coming to the humans for socialism. Well, not socialism. He's not a communist. But he wants to know more about Lenin. Because they are social creatures, much like humans are as well. If he were in a colony, he would normally be play fighting other seals his age. Because male elephant seals, particularly at his age, naturally engage in play fighting. And without a colony in Tasmania, Neil is more than likely drawn to busy areas in search of interaction, basically. He's bored. He doesn't know what to do. He's a teenager now. And as a result, he is a bit more aggressive. He is significantly bigger than he has been in the past as well. And so I cannot stress this enough. Please do keep away from him. Keep your distance. Keep your wits about him as well, because
he is a wild animal.
He is a wild animal, and when he opens his mouth, you trust me, you do not want those teeth anywhere near you. Dr. Ian Field has been researching elephant seals for the last 15 years, 4 of them at Macquarie Island in the Southern Ocean. So he lived on Macquarie Island, which we've also covered in a Two Ticks Town Talk. And there's a large colony there. And Dr. Field said that juvenile and sub-adult elephant seals like Neil can be aggressive. He specifically said, quote, they're teenage boys. They're getting bigger. They want to earn the right to reproduce. And to do that, they need to hone their skills of fighting and interacting. If you do have an interaction with them, you want to move them, then you really need to make yourself seem bigger than they are. You need to have some sort of dominance in terms of stature, in terms of noise, or in terms of something that he can feel, so that you are proving to him that you are the dominant one and he needs to move along. End quote. So, whilst, again, we don't encourage any member of the public, including our listeners, especially our listeners, to engage in any interaction with Neil or any other southern elephant seals, it is good to know what to do in a situation which may arise. If Neil traps you in a corner, rise up.
Trying to blow up a balloon to make sense. Oh, God. Oh, damn. And Neil's lumbering along. You can see him getting closer and closer. You're trying to blow out this balloon.
He is quite a character, and if you don't know who Neil the Seal is, I would strongly recommend go and have a look at the show notes. Go and have a look at some of the resources I've left for you. Otherwise, just Google Neil the Seal. He has his own Wikipedia page and everything. He is quite famous, and he was born in this week's Two Ticks Town Talk town of Salem Bay. If you head to southern Tasmania, go and have a look, particularly because it is just around the corner from the Port Arthur penal colony, which a lot of people do go to. It is quite a big touristy area. And who knows, you might end up meeting one of your favorite, our favorite and the internet's favorite seals. Just be sure to keep your distance. No close-up selfies or anything like that. One, you might get quite seriously in trouble, and two, he might bite your head off. So,
yeah. Oh, that's fun. Oh, that was a good one. That was funny about Neil the Seal.
Absolute bloody menace, Neil the Seal.
Enjoyed that.